Welcome to the Geek and I podcast. This is another Star Trek Picard review program. Might have a ton of technical difficulties this week because, I don't know, my computer wanted us to update to Windows 11, and now it looks like a Windows 98 machine. I can't figure it out. It is so, I cannot stand Microsoft. And I think all the tweets I have put out there from about
user error.
I think Bill Gates has hunted me down and said, you know what, screw up his computer right now. Because I have pointers that in order to click on something, I have to be like a quarter inch away from it, and I'm basically guessing where everything is. And my screen borders are gray. It took away the nice little blue things. I got the finger pointer that goes around and the hourglass from, I guess, what is it? Windows 3 or something. I feel like I'm back in 1989 on my old gateway. But what are you going to do? This is, we got to get the show on the road, keep on going. And we have another episode, a pretty good episode of Star Trek Picard to cover. What'd you guys think, Debbie? What did you think of this week's episode?
I really enjoyed it. A lot of stuff going on. We were introduced to the villain, and which she's just scary and creepy. But yeah, I mean, we got some confirmation on stuff that we kind of assumed anyways. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode, regardless.
All right, and Jeff, what are your quickie thoughts?
Well, first of all, who's your daddy? I called it last week, man.
That was like saying, that's like saying, hey, next episode they're going to use the transporter. It wasn't really a big surprise, I don't think.
I don't know. I enjoyed it.
All right. That's good to hear. First thing I want to do is, if you can tell, we are one short on our voyage tonight because our resident Star Trek fanatic, Bill Victor, is actually off in another part of the universe, and he sent me a long distance communique. I'd like to bring that up on screen if I could. And we'll see if I can figure out how to play this on my Windows 3.1 machine.
And we're about to leave Los Angeles for 3 destinations: Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta.
There we go. Start over.
Hey everyone, it's Bill Victor Camp for the Geek and I, and we're here on Star Trek The Cruise number 6. And we're about to leave Los Angeles for 3 destinations: Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. So as you can see, we're at the promenade with a bunch of Star Trek folks. And I've got my trusty Glommer here. So this is Gracie, and George is around here somewhere. We've met up with George at some point. But a ton of great actors are here. This is the 30th anniversary of Deep Space Nine, so we're celebrating that. And it's been a wonderful time with Star Trek characters, Star Trek actors, and a whole bunch of podcasts going on here. So stay tuned.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Nice.
Have you ever wanted to go on a Trek cruise?
Yes, but not on a ship.
I don't think you understand the definition of a cruise then. So, all right. Can you guys hear the bridge noise? Because I've loaded up. We are on the bridge, and
Very faint.
Let's
Yeah, I
check
can hear
out.
Okay.
Let's check out our episode 2 of Picard. So, starts out like a typical Star Trek. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the Major Barrett Roddenberry saying, "Last time on Star Trek Picard." I do miss her voice as the computers and stuff. I wish they could have found a way to digitize her voice and bring it into the show somehow. But well, what can you do, right? You guess you only have a certain amount of cash on hand. So the episode actually starts 2 weeks ago. What'd you guys think of that?
It was in well, I liked it because now we got why they're in the predicament they're in. Because before it just started out and Beverly's just, shooting aliens and sending a message off to Picard, and we don't really know why outside of somebody's boarding her ship. So this was just kind of a little interlude as to why, or partially why, I guess.
So Jack is on this. And do you think Beverly's on this? On the, what is it, Elios? Do you think she's on there at this point 2 weeks ago, or does she come into it later on? Because you don't see her in the...
Either that or she's in another part of the ship, because it looks like he's on the hangar or docking bay, whatever you want to call it, where all the supplies are. So she could be there. She's just in another part of the ship.
Jeff, you seem to be the prediction king. Where do you think Beverly is at this time?
Hooking up with Picard again, man.
Okay. So he's just hanging out and delivering supplies, right?
Yes.
Ramen and ale.
And weapons.
And right. Well, he was using the weapons to trade. Right, as I guess he's bringing them to the rebels now. Those guys that came on the ship, are those
Fenris Rangers?
So did I hear Seven say she was with the Rangers? So is
Yeah, her and Rafi, I don't know how you say her name, but who was a ranger, and her and Seven had gotten together. So yeah, they both were rangers.
And that's established in season 1 and 2, or season 1.
One of those seasons, yes.
Yeah, because as you know, I couldn't
watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, they didn't exist, and still don't. So this guy, Prune Face, do you think is that battle scars, or is that is he infected? Is the infection real that's on the planet?
Evidently it is. I don't know if he's from the planet or if those are just burn marks, because his other side of his face looks okay, but yeah. I mean, Jack said the Galvin fever, I think is what he called it. He said it was fatal.
So is that kind of like a Richard Dreyfuss thing from Close Encounters, where he only gets half his face tanned.
Yeah.
So they come
When I
in.
saw it, I just thought he saw a whole bunch of stuff, man, and got messed up.
Mm.
So this guy is part of the Rangers,
Mm-hmm.
and Jack is there to. And I thought it was cool the way he said, this is killing one person a minute or something like that, and we've just killed 10 people because it's been 10 minutes that they've been farting around in the bay.
Right.
And they're bringing them the weapons. And do you think this is why he's being chased by what's her name,
Vatic. Also known as the Marked Woman, which I don't know what that means, because after they carry off the weapons, he pushes his communicator, I guess, in his ear, and he says, "Tell the Marked Woman we found him."
So do you think they were going to sell out Crusher?
Yes. And evidently they've been running ever since, so
they're in it for the money.
well, of course, that's what pirates do.
Really?
So then we go back to the Titan, and I guess this is back in present day, and we are still, I guess they're not in where the shuttlecraft went to. So they're not near Picard yet.
No, they're still in Federation space, while Picard in the shuttle is out in the outer rim, or whatever you want to call it, in the just outside of the nebula.
Now, what do you think of the design of space? See, I'm used to just stars, and I'm not. These things that are like burning orange and glowing, and like that Discovery kind of look. Do you find that is that better than the like Next Generation type special effects that was just star background? And
Well, I mean, Voyager, I think, had run-ins with, well, and even the movies had run-ins with nebulas and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it's pretty cool to see this kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know how much of it is true. I don't study space, but
well, you don't go on cruises, so
yeah,
I don't expect you to. I don't expect you to go out there. So then my guy is Liam Shaw. This guy is so awesome. I want him to have his own show. He needs to have his own show.
Star Trek, the asshole.
yeah, he does redeem himself later on, but yeah, he's fighting it though.
Well, he's basically telling 7 of 9 off. Like, you got us into this. Is this where she's relieved of command?
No, that's later on.
So we have. I don't know what they don't even mention the name of the ship yet, right?
That's not until she contacts them with her demand.
Then we have the opening, which again I hope they keep, because I'm not into title sequences or weekly broadcasts. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this.
I thought you'd been pleased.
And then you have the title Disengage. Very
Or
cool
other
title.
known as Who's Your Daddy?
That's maybe what Picard should have done 20 years ago. Jean-Luc, disengage!
Well,
So then we cut to do I have to give you?
yeah.
Okay, we cut to Raffi again, and now she's watching the destruction of not Starfleet Academy, but Starfleet recruitment,
Yeah.
and the Doctor Strange portals that destroyed the whole thing. Now, do you think that was Vatic that did that? You think she's got that technology? Because she does mention later in the episode that, you know, if I got, or when they're scanning the ship as to what kind of armaments they have, and then they're like, she's got something big in the hangar. Do you think it's that technology?
I don't know, because I guess it would depend on how these events happen, because Vadic's been chasing Jack. So I don't know if she would have had time to go clear back to Earth and do this attack.
But does this portal actually act like a Doctor Strange portal where she can open it up in front of her and appear somewhere else and then turn around and go back through?
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah. I don't know. I think it might be part of a bigger plot, which I will get to later on, but I don't want to say right now. So.
And then we have the they're planning their escape on the shuttlecraft. We got to get Beverly on the shuttle, and the next thing you know, they're hit with, you know, the ship shoots at them. They're quantum torpedoes or whatever it is, and take out the shuttlecraft, and there it is, the Savick. Very cool.
Yeah, that was a nice little tribute.
Yeah, I watched a rundown of the episode on another podcast, and they were like, and I guess you can actually, if you want to say it the correct way, I guess, would it be the Savak, or is it Savick? I mean, I know it is Savick.
Yeah, isn't that how that's pronounced in Wrath of Khan, is Savick?
Yeah, and they were like, and then the shuttlecraft Savak.
Well, maybe that's the way Vulcans pronounce it. I don't recall Spock ever saying it that way, but it's been a couple of years since I've seen Wrath of Khan, so.
But I think that's a very cool nod to. This is a very Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3 season, and it's very cool. So then we cut back to Raffi, and she's trying to figure out where to go next. And this is where she's talking to her handler, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And the handler is just a computer voice with a digitized readout. And one of the messages that she gets from the handler was this. It's a message that we get in the end credits, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It says, do not something, or I can't remember what it says.
Do not blame in something else. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Do not seek blame and do not seek anger. So, from Starfleet Intelligence. So now you know she's definitely in with Starfleet Intel, which I thought she was, maybe fooling around, telling, I'm with Starfleet Intelligence just to, I don't know, to get another hit or something, because she did have a drug problem in the first season, correct? Or
yes, correct.
So what are we seeing here?
Believe. Well, Seven's going in to again try to convince Shaw to save Picard and Riker and Jack and Beverly. And he's still not having it. He's being stubborn.
So now this is the part where she says you can either be using Jeff's phrase, you can either be the asshole that killed 2 legends or the hero that went in and saved 2 legends. Correct? This is that part?
I'm not sure if it's here, because she tries quite a few times to convince him to go in and save them. But I'm thinking it's later where it says you could be the hero that saves the heroes. I think that's later on.
And this part was pretty neat, the way, they're trying to escape. They're trying to think about what they can do to get out of there. Meanwhile, Picard is just off walking around, putting these things on the wall. He's just like, hey, I'm just, don't mind me. I'm just here. And it was pretty cool that it turns out that he's actually putting up the transport inhibitors to prevent them trying to transport Jack out of the ship. And then Picard says, well, at least now we know what they want. It's you, and they want you alive.
Yep.
So it's nothing he's carrying. It's not Beverly. It's actually they want him for something. Now, do you think it's a reward? Do you think they're just bounty hunters? Do you think they're just, Boba Fett of the Star Trek universe?
I don't know. I just find it really hard to believe that's all it is. I think there's something more to it. I don't know if it's Jack himself, his heritage, or his DNA. I don't know. But there's something with Jack that evidently somebody wants super bad. I don't think it's just because he's a intergalactic fugitive. I don't believe that. I could be wrong.
Right.
I have been before, so.
So here they grab him with the tractor beam, and they start pulling him in. And hopefully I saved this image, because this is one of the coolest shots in the whole episode. Yep. The Titan comes in right in between, cuts the beam, and basically prevents the ship from tractor beaming them in, I guess, to their bay. So they try to beam all 3 of them up, actually all 4 of them, and they can't do it. And they're like, we can't get a lock on you. And they're like, oh, crap.
Duh.
Duh, we forgot to turn off the toaster. And Picard, all one-shot Picard takes out 3 or 4 transport inhibitors, and he's pretty good for. Well, I guess because he's an android. I mean, his eyes work perfectly. He's got steady aim now. It's just that his voice sounds like he's 95 years old. So then they're able to beam them aboard the Titan, and Beverly goes, straight to the med bay, and they are rescued by my guy, Captain Liam Shaw. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So
now
then we come down. Huh?
he has a hotel going on.
So now we go down to. Did they say what the name of this planet was?
I'm sure they have. I didn't write it down though.
Oh, how dare you! And then this is Rafi's ex-husband.
Yes.
I was kind of hoping that would be Jake Sisko. That would have been pretty neat to have Jake Sisko in this, but he's basically an ex-addict also, right? And he's like to her, you're still using, I can tell when you get this conspiracy mindset, that's when things start happening and you start losing your mind and going crazy, and that's when you start using again. And she's like, how did you get out of it? And he goes, well, we had a kid. And the kid, I did it for the kid. Oh, so, she's like, the drugs, the dark rabbit holes. And he was shocked that she was actually, he thought that she would have come for the kid. And because apparently they've been not speaking to one another for a while. And they don't mention how old the kid is, do they?
Well, evidently he's an adult because her ex says something about you ambushed Gabe's baby's doctor appointment. So evidently he's an adult and probably married and has a kid. And I think in last week's episode, they showed her watching a hologram or something like that with a little girl. So I am assuming that's Gabe's daughter.
Okay. And he's like, make a choice right here, right now. Do you want me to go and introduce you to Sneed, whoever Sneed is, because we don't know who he is yet? Or do you want to talk to Gabe? And she chooses Sneed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, okay. And he says, that's what I thought. And then we cut back to the action. And the big, this kind of reminds me of, what ship was it in? Was it Star Trek 2009 that had a ship that looked like this? Was it the Romulan ship that came through the wormhole?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, it looks similar, but it also looks like something else, which I'll explain later.
Ah, okay.
Which goes into my theory.
So they come on and Shaw's just like, okay, We saved your ass. Now let's see what you got us into. And then she makes her appearance on screen. And that's Amanda Plummer as Captain Vadek. And I didn't realize until, I guess it was late last night, that who her father is.
You didn't know?
I never put the two names together.
Oh my God.
Who is the
And
father? I must have missed that one. Who is the father? I must have missed that one. I was too busy worried about the other father.
In real life,
in real life, her father.
Amanda Plummer's dad
Oh, okay.
is Christopher Plummer.
Plummer, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
the old Pink Panther himself.
Who was also a villain in Star Trek.
Yes.
Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country.
Yes, and he was awesome.
General
Old
K.
Shakespeare.
Yes. A fan of Shakespeare.
That was a good movie.
So she introduces herself, and she mentions that it's nice to see Picard in all his synthetic flesh, which I'm still not used to. I'm still not used to. I can't grasp that he is an android. If you're going to put him in an android, put him in a younger android body. Give him like the Picard from the flashback episode when he has hair. That's the Picard you should have put him in. Not a Picard that's like, you got 3 years left. Your warranty is up. Hopefully they have Android Shield. If anything goes wrong with him, it's covered. But yeah, she's excited to see the old man himself. And
she
now
seems to know
Wonder
everybody. She knows everybody, and she knows everything about them.
why do you think that is? Do you think she's getting help from the Federation?
Well, see, that just all works into my theory.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead and tell us your theory. Let's get it out of the
Okay.
way. I want to hear it.
I will tell you my theory.
Hold on. Before you
Write down,
do that, I'm going to write down mine.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's see. How would I'm just going to draw a picture.
oh, good. Pictionary Star Trek version.
We did this once before, didn't we? Where I drew a picture of something. Okay. All right. It's not that good, because I am not an artist.
Show us Picasso.
Well, all right. You want to see? All right. Here we go. This is what I think the theory. This is my theory, going off of the shape of the ship and some things that I've heard in the first episode.
Yes. Yes.
I can't see it.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. You made me watch that, man. That was a freaky show.
From Conspiracy.
Yes, season 1, episode 25. I was going to try and watch that this evening before the show, but I got distracted here and there. But I wanted to watch Picard a second time and take notes, so I didn't get time to watch the episode. But yes, as soon as I seen that ship, I was like, huh?
Are you sure it's episode 25?
Yeah, season 1, episode 25, Conspiracy.
I got 24.
Yeah, well, it's different on IMDb and
Yeah, because I went on Paramount and looked up.
right, it's in. I guess IMDb goes through production order, or
Yeah, Paramount has it 25, and IMDb has 24.
yeah, because I
Weird.
think the air dates are backwards. Which one aired first? Does it say which one aired first?
You mean go back to IMDb?
Yeah, the air date and the
The air date was April 30th, 1988.
for which one?
Hold on. Can you see
For
it?
which one?
Oh, sorry. Conspiracy, May 7th, 1988. Oh, hold on. There you go.
Okay, yeah.
So it's May 7th, 1988. And then that's for IMDb. But if you go to, see, that's what John started getting me watching different episodes of Next Generation, because he was telling me the wrong number. See, episode. He had me watch episode 24. We'll always have Paris. And I was like, "Hey, man, why don't you tell me your hot chicks in there? I will watch it sooner." He goes, "No, it's another one." And I was like, "Okay, Skin of Evil." No, after that, oh, conspiracy. Yeah, conspiracy. But on there, does it say the air date? At least I don't see it.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what the
May 2nd, 1988 is for the Paris one, which is a good episode if you haven't seen it. I haven't watched much of Next Generation, so.
So, what was it that made you think of the conspiracy episode, Debbie?
The ship, the look of her ship. Now, I couldn't remember the specific episode, but I thought, man, the shape of that ship looks like one of the bugs that was in Next Generation. So then I had to do research, which is what I like to do. And as soon as I brought that up, it brought up conspiracy. And then I looked at the images and I was like, there it is. So,
well, you also see now what triggered it in my mind was when I was watching last week, the second time that I watched it, I noticed the line Beverly gave, trust no one. And that's what the Admiral told Picard in the beginning of the episode Conspiracy was trust no one. So I was like, well, you know, I've heard that before. Where did I hear that before? So that's when I Googled that, and it came up with the Conspiracy episode. And I was like, I think I remember that one being really good. And then that was the one with the, it turns up it's those little bug things, which I think the reason this whole season is Star Trek 2-ish is because those bugs look like the same bugs that Khan used on
the pets.
His pets.
Yeah, they do look similar. He called them eels, sete eels.
Mm-hmm. But what does he know? I mean, he was only there for, he wasn't it's the only indigenous life form left, so nobody could tell him what the name of it was, right? He had to make something up. And, we're now, 300 years in the future, and these things could have evolved to take over and then, be very, very, very poorly animated as they go up and into somebody's mouth.
Now they should bring back those practical effects on a new episode.
Instead of entering through the ears as a little worm figure, they've realized that if they go in through the mouth, they can take over the entire body. which I think would be pretty
What
cool.
about the tail in the back? Don't they have the little tail that has to stick out in the back?
Or the side of the neck or something. Maybe that's how they breathe.
I remember it being on the back end of the neck. In the
Was
episode.
it on the back of his head? Back here?
Yeah.
That little knob.
That's when what's his name said they actually faked it to make sure it looked like the real one.
Right, Riker.
Riker, yeah.
Riker, yeah. Spoiler alert, guys.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this episode 30 years ago, you know, go watch it now.
Then we start complaining in the comments.
Hey, I would take that. I would take complaints in the comments. We don't get nothing in the comments except tonight we have a comment from Chris.
I did.
So
I make comments after the show.
that's like talking to yourself. So she says there's a sizable bounty. She's kind of like a little. I don't know. I think she's overacting a little bit.
Because she's just enjoying it too much.
Yeah.
It's those cigars, man. They're messing with
I
her.
like the lighter that she's got. That lighter is pretty neat. That the flame comes out in the center.
Early 20th century.
Oh. And this was cool. This was something I've never seen before.
I like that line.
And it's a pretty cool maneuver. This is now, I'm going to tag this as the Vatic maneuver, where you grab a ship with your tractor beam and you just, you do a spinorama and you toss it.
Yep, you just whip it at your enemy.
She tossed that thing and it just scraped right across. She's like, here, I have something for you. Catch this. And then we have LaForge saying, she threw a ship at us. which is pretty cool. And then she mentioned, and then Geordi gets another name drop where she says something like, my dad always told me that every law of physics can be used
as a weapon.
Pretty neat. I don't remember him saying that in Trek. Might have been around the dinner table at Thanksgiving one day. They were talking about it, but pretty neat. So Shaw says, okay, great. Now we have 500 guns pointed at our head. What does he do next?
He just likes insulting her.
Yeah. And I get, why would anybody be his first officer? It's like, he's like an HR nightmare.
Well, I think, and I don't know if we discussed it on last week's show or if this is something I read on the internet, but I guess he's got this thing with Borgs or former Borgs. I don't know if his family was killed, and so he has, animosity. That's why he was so rude to Picard and to her.
Yeah, last episode they talked about that.
How old do you think he is? Like 40? So he would have been. You think he's about 40? He would have been about 10.
I think he's a child of the board.
Wolf 359.
Like his parents were Borg or something, you mean?
It's hard to say. So Jack says he's never heard of anybody named Vatic, but he is a late night talk show host.
Get out, Johnny Carson.
And it would have been nice to, like the next frame, he's also Edward McMahon. But they went with
no.
James Cole. Anybody know who James Cole is?
Don't ring a bell.
What was?
Thinking you're older than me.
Who's? Oh no, I'm thinking Gary Cole. Right? Is that the actor, Gary Cole?
Gary Coleman.
No.
Oh, from Different Strokes.
Oh, NCIS.
Uh,
Is that the new Gibbs?
maybe he was in Office Space.
Yes.
No,
I think
I watch
that's
that
who it is.
religiously.
What? Isn't it Gary
He played in
Cole?
Office Space.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to stay and work this weekend.
Oh.
We're just gonna
Oh,
move
I
you
remember now.
down. We're gonna move
let me
you
look
down
at
to
that.
the.
That's who it is.
Yeah, so about those TPS reports, we're gonna need you to stay a little late. So Jack is a intergalactic fugitive. He's not just a fugitive. He's an
He broke some
intergalactic.
rules, man.
That's it. He's broken rules all over the universe.
Right? Just like Kirk started breaking rules, it's kind of a little throwback, I'm thinking, Card was more straight laced. His son's breaking some rules. Kind of like when we started the episode, had that rock and roll music going on, He's like the rebel of the Picards.
Very true. And here she gets relieved of duty for insubordination. Or 7.
Insubordination.
Hold on.
There you go.
So he just wants to sacrifice Jack. He's like, let's give it to her. Let's give him to her. We don't need him. We're outside of Federation space. The rules of what does he call it? The rules of
Engagement.
Federation. Yeah.
not internet.
Intergalactic.
Yeah, when you're outside of Federation space, there's different rules. I don't know why there would be different. There'd be no rules because it's the Wild West out here. So he wants to give him up, and then anything he wants to save. He's going to save any punishment for 7 of 9 and Picard and Riker for the tribunal. It's my man. This guy's tough. And then Picard is like, is it Picard or is this a Riker quote?
That's Picard.
Since when does Starfleet give in to hostile demands? And he's like, this is a dogfight. It would. The ending of the episode is pretty cool. So Picard goes to see Jack in the brig.
Gets a father and son time in,
Yeah, well, they haven't had much time together, so he's only got 30 minutes, right, or an hour.
Short time to
15,
bond.
I think 15 or 19 minutes.
So he's like,
The clock was ticking.
You're accused of organized crime on Andoria. Who is your father? And then there's the line that gives it away.
More
You want to read it?
You are the father.
I am your father. Oh, that's a wrong franchise.
Yeah, wrong franchise, John.
No.
So then we go back to whatever planet this is now. All these planets have this really cool disco-y nightlife. This is all like every planet that these bad guys hang out on is like.
Well, they got a party, have a little fun.
It's like disco. It's like Mardi Gras planet, and everywhere there's beads and drugs and
Ferenges. Oh, I'm
So
jumping again. I'm sorry.
he goes and talks to the Black Dwayne Johnson. Oh, or I guess Dwayne Johnson, and it's kind of like a cross
Those
between. It's kind of like a cross between Dwayne Johnson and the guy that does those Old Spice commercials.
You mean Miss McLean?
So she's like, Sneed's expecting me, and we still don't know who he is, right?
Not at this moment, no.
They didn't do a name drop. And there he is. Now, is this the first Ferengi in Picard, or was there a Ferengi in season 1 and 2?
No, this is the first Ferengi, and it's the first Ferengi in any of the, well, outside of one that we got like a 2-second look at, but he's the only Ferengi in the newer Star Trek. They had one in Discovery, but like I said, he was only, you blink, you miss it. But he looked very different, that Ferengi.
See, I thought he was in Next Generation, the Ferengis.
Oh, yeah, they were.
I'm talking new Star Trek.
The Paramount.
The newer Star Trek.
Yeah, Paramount Plus Star Trek. This is the first.
Next
Ferengi.
generation. All right.
Yes. And he's token on something there, hanging from the ceiling, having a good old time. And at least they got the teeth down right, so it's not like a mouthful of teeth where you can't understand what they're saying. Because this guy was
before. I didn't realize.
Yeah, because you couldn't with their dentures, you really couldn't understand what they were saying. On Deep Space Nine, and Armin Shimmerman did a great job getting used to, getting used to wearing the teeth, but they were really muffled. So she throws down. What is this? Is this a kyber crystal that she throws down, or?
That's what it looked like. Either that, or it's some form of jade, or maybe some kind of money or jewelry. Who knows?
And was there a couple of chips of gold pressed platinum on the table that she threw down? Because it looked like there was some square things there.
I didn't notice that. I just seen the green things.
And then he's like, and this was a cool line where he says, I've been stung enough times to smell a sting coming. And you smell like stuff. Section 31. That's right. And do we know what Section 31 is?
Yes. And I wish they would make a series led by Michelle Yeoh. Damn it.
Why Michelle Yeoh?
Well, because they hinted at it in one of the seasons of Discovery that she was part of Section 31 along with one of the other characters. And I thought there was an announcement that they were going to do a series called Section 31, but hell, that's been like 4 years ago. So I got excited for nothing because I love Michelle Yeoh. I think she's great.
Now, was
What
Section
is Section
31?
31? I missed that.
Well, you didn't watch Deep Space Nine, so
No, it's
Was-
called D9, and I didn't get into it, man.
Section 31 is an ultra secret wing of Starfleet, right? So it's kind of like
the Republicans.
kind of like the deep state, who are investigating, and when they need to do something to get their agenda back on track, they'll blow something up. Or now Section 38 was also in Enterprise, wasn't it?
I didn't see that one either.
I know there was some kind of thing. I don't remember if it was a Section 38 or a Section 31 or what it was, but I think there was something similar to it. Yes.
Like when he goes into the future,
Mm-hmm.
and that one guy comes back to, I guess, Enterprise times, and he was Section 31, I thought.
Yeah, I think he was, because he would come in, because he was in, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 different episodes throughout the series that
Right.
he would come and say something, try not to give anything away to Archer. But yeah.
Now, I don't know if he's retired or not, but I guess isn't William Sadler still? Is he still acting? Because he would be cool to be the head of Section 31 now.
Who?
William Sadler?
William Shatner? Oh, I thought I heard Shatner for some reason.
No, William Sadler. He was Section 31 on Deep Space Nine.
I don't recognize him.
Die Hard 2. Remember Die Hard 2?
Yep.
The guy doing naked karate training in the beginning. That's William.
That's why I remember it.
William Sadler. He also played Death in the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
There you go. Yeah, I can see that guy.
William Sadler is awesome. I'm surprised you haven't seen.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the first Section 31 dude on Deep Space Nine when he's trying to recruit Bashir.
That. Now I'll check it out, John.
He's trying to recruit Bashir into Section 31. So he's like, prove it to me that you're not Section 31. And she takes the switchblade drug thingy and flashes it in her eye and has starts her trip, let's just say. And what did they call that? What was it that she had? Because he gave it a name.
He said he called it Splinter.
Right. So he's getting the answers from her, and he's like, okay, I know for a fact you're not working with Aluko. And there's one reason that I know you're not working with Toluco, because here's his head.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Toluco, I guess, would be a Romulan, right? He was a Romulan.
That's that green guy, right?
So
was he that green guy in the last episode, right?
I don't think we ever saw Toluco.
Oh.
No, the last guy, the green guy was Orion. His name was Orion.
Oh, okay. That's why we got you here, Debbie. Check us.
It's the only thing I'm good for half the time. So
this mysterious shadowy figure comes in, and you hear every once in a while, and he's got a sword that's flashing everywhere. And he's like, "Oh, we can talk. We can talk." He's like, "No, it's not going to be you can't talk because I'm Worf." And Worf comes in, and what does Worf do? I told you not to engage. But he chops his head off. I was hoping I'd get a frame of what's his name's head. Just like was hard to catch. But
it was very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worf comes in and takes his head off. So now you know this is
and now we find out who, right?
Find out what?
He's the handler, right?
He is the handler. Yes, he is the disembodied voice that sounds like a girl. On
well, his voice is kind of you can't miss that voice. His voice. That would be a dead giveaway.
Yeah, you know. So then we go back to outer space, and they're trying to figure out how do we escape from. What are we going to do? And my dude is sitting in his chair thinking. He's like, let's see, what would Kirk do in this situation? And then Picard's like, we're going to need to discuss a course of action. And Picard wants to run. And Shaw's like, I'm just going to give it to her. And he's like, your ex-girlfriend's son doesn't mean a thing to me. And they're not even sure that Crusher is Beverly's kid. You know? Which would be, I guess it would be a good play, you know? It's like, hey, Ma. And nobody knows. He could be, you know, he's such a con artist that he could be scamming Beverly. You know, it's like one of those emails you get from the
Nigeria.
Yeah. The Nigerian prince that wants to, yeah, I'll give you $1 million if you send me back $100. I only fell for that 3 times.
Right?
Well, I will not fall for that a 4th time. I'll tell you that right now. So we go into the brig once again, and here he is working out a plan to escape. And he's like, "What's the power level?"
Yep, that's a look.
And you don't, yeah, it's like, if I'm this dude, I'd be like, I've fallen for that before. I've seen that Nigerian prince email. You're not going to get me on this one. And then apparently there's some kind of rule that says you're required to tell me in case I try to escape. And just in case I try to escape, you have to let me know what the power level is so I don't hurt myself. I'd be like, get the heck out of here. And that's what the guy says. Well, why don't you lick the screen and find out?
I like that part. You go, ah.
Oh, he's at a level 10.
I can't believe they don't check him before they throw him in there, like take out any dangerous things.
Yeah, what is this? Like a watch he's wearing or something? Or
Some
that
kind of
just
doodad gadget.
yeah, magically plugs into cells and power supplies, and he gets out, headbutts this dude. I would have just thrown him in there and put the screen back up. You know, there's no reason to headbutt the guy. You hardly know him. You know, why do you got to be so aggressive? Just grab him, throw him in there, and turn the screen back on so he can't get out. Now he's going to have a headache all day. And then we're back to the psycho. And what is this? What is this speech she's giving here, Deb?
She's talking about time, and that, you know, time is a ticking. You could just give him to me now, and we can end this all. Or, you know, I can just blow you away. Well, yeah, she tells him about the name of the ship and whatnot. The Shrike.
And actually, I was going to go look up that bird that she says it was, but I never got a chance to look that up today. But see what kind of bird. Is it I guess it would be a shrike bird.
Let me see if I can bring it up on my phone.
I'll race you.
I'll just sit here.
Oh, it's a cute little bird.
It's a songbird.
Like a phoenix?
No.
Oh,
Or like this right here?
Yeah, that's it.
That kind of bird?
That's
This is-
it.
I came prepared.
That's a shrike. It's a cute little bird.
Yeah. Kind of like Robin. The Boy Wonder. Oh, wrong franchise. So now, apparently the Shrike, does it say what the Shrike does?
Well, after they kill their prey, they impale it and put it on a thorn or a barbed wire fence to store it for later. Well, that's kind of
Yeah. I guess it's like that of what is it, a flarn of what's the cat from Marvel? Flurkin?
Goose?
A flurkin?
A flurkin. It's also known as the butcher bird. So
Okay.
Lord.
All right. So stay away from strikes. They get your attention with their cuteness, and then they stick you up on a fence. So now she wants the boy, or you can, just wait to die, and then I'll take him anyway. And then she's like, I can be like the bird and take you piece by piece. So does that mean like she says, I'll take you down system by system. First your weapons, and then your life support, and so Jack has gotten out, and he's trying to make his escape. And I guess is the shuttle bay? I guess the shuttle bay would have transporters in it also. Oh, he's in the transporter bay.
I think they thought he would go for the shuttle bay.
Oh, right. And then Picard figures out that he's trying to hand himself over. And then there was a whole scene before this where Riker goes in and down to Med and says, how is she? And Doc's like, we stopped the internal bleeding. She'll survive. And is he awake? Is she heavily sedated? And he goes and wakes her up. And he brings her back to the bridge. And Picard looks at her. She looks back. And he's like, raise shields, do not engage, and Admiral's orders. So basically he's taking over the ship and demands that the boy stays, and shows like, you're gonna get us all killed. And he's like, why are you doing this? And Jeff, why is he doing this?
Because why not hijack the same ship twice?
Because he's my son. I don't know how. Well, I know how. When would it have happened?
You know when?
No, I don't know when.
Well, let's see. He's about, what, 30-ish?
The kid?
Yeah.
Maybe it's that We'll Always Have Paris episode.
There you go. They've been messing around the holodecks too long, man.
So, that's the one thing that irks me, and I mentioned it last week. Why would you get an English-speaking actor to play this part?
Well, maybe once she had him, maybe she sent him off somewhere. When he was school age, just sent him off somewhere to some, in London somewhere to go to a private school or whatever, and that's where he gets the accent. I don't know.
But wouldn't it be more of a music? Wouldn't it be more of a shock and a bigger surprise if he didn't have the British accent in the beginning? Like when you first meet him, he doesn't have it, and you're like, who is this guy? And it turns out that, because I think it's a giveaway that he's, out of everybody that's on the show, him and Picard are the only ones that have British accents.
Yeah, it's not like it's genetic or anything.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said last week. You don't get your accent, through your genes. So
you gotta let it go, man.
I guess this is.
I'm sure they'll explain it later.
No, they won't.
You never know. They might surprise you.
So they're getting ready to hightail it. And he's like, give me the ship.
Full rank.
And she's like, oh, you're right on time. And he's like, engage. So then they start firing. Engage. So they start firing, and she's like chuckling and like, ha ha ha, this is doing nothing. And they make a quick right turn, and she's like, follow them.
Yeah,
they
she
head
doesn't
off.
seem too concerned or worried.
Yeah, it's like she's like whatever. She's enjoying it. And now Shaw's got the guts, and he's like, if they're looking for a fight, and then Picard's like, they'll have to find us first, and they hightail it into the nebula. End of episode. Dun, dun, dun. And then there you have it. So episode 2, I don't know what if episode 1 was an 8 out of 10, this one I would probably give a 6 or a high 6, low 7. Where would you put this on the chart, Jeff?
What do you mean 8 out of 10? Do you ever give a 10?
Never. Only Bo Derek has gotten a 10.
See, for me, I mean, the first episode was really cool. It got me in the spirit of, yes, it's going to be this kind of a Star Trek. And then this one kind of slowed down a little bit. And I'm like, well, so for me, the first one, I would give it a 10, including Bo Derek. But the second one, I'm going to say it's like a 7-ish, 8-ish. What about you, Debbie?
Where'd you put this?
I would have put last week's episode probably at a 9, 9.5, and this episode probably a 7.5. It's still a good episode.
See, and I think I'm falling into the problem I have with these 10 episode arcs where, you know, we're 2 hours into this series already, and that's already the length of a movie. How much of this has been filler to stretch it out to 2 hours, 2 episodes to get it to the 10 that they have in a season? And what could they have cut out to make this a movie?
Thing is, they still have at least 3 more characters to bring in. Or is it 2? 2 or 3 characters to bring in that we've seen in the trailers.
We got Geordi and Data coming in. There's 2, right?
Yeah, there's another one.
There's another one.
Deanna Troy.
Will it be
we got Lore and Deanna Troy. So there's.
Will we? Will we?
No, we got Moriarty coming in yet.
Oh right, yeah. So did they? He's actually a real person now, right? He escaped the transporter.
If I remember correctly, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got to bring in all those characters yet. So
did they de-age him? You think? Because he looks pretty good.
Could be.
I mean, they would have to. I mean, he was old in 1990. You know, in the 90s when they did those Sherlock Holmes episodes.
We'll have to see.
And have you seen any trailer for next week yet?
I have not, but I never seen a trailer for this one. So
yeah, it showed up as being able to be played on my Paramount app, but I couldn't get to it. So it was really weird. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I went to the end of the episode thinking, well, maybe they'll show a trailer there
next week.
Yeah, for next week, but I didn't see it, so I guess I'll probably have to start looking them up online to see if they're online somewhere.
And I'd like to see at the end of the episodes, you know, the old dun 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 to be continued. Dun dun dun. And I don't know, that's just me hoping that they go full next gen. And remember before the commercial breaks, you'd get the little, and then they go into a toilet.
How they go again?
You'd have to rewind the broadcast, and I only do that once. So, all right.
That's
well,
one thing I appreciate about the old series. They did that, next on Star Trek. And they gave you a little sample.
with the cool announcer voice. Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation. So, all right, Deb, thank you for going over this week's episode. We really appreciate all your notes. I will send you a pack of pens for all the ink that you've used. You had front and back.
Yes.
Did we get to everything on your list?
Yes.
And I'm going to submit this into the Podcast Hall of Fame. See if I can get that.
I'd frame it because, that could become famous if our theory is correct.
I think it's everybody's theory, though.
I looked, and there was... I looked, and there was... I think I seen maybe 2 or 3 creators that were kind of playing around with the conspiracy theory. But it wasn't well... a lot of people seem to be fixated on yesterday's Enterprise.
Because of the statue that they took out.
So maybe they're pulling from... excuse me, maybe they're pulling from 2 different episodes. Because I know conspiracy never really got a true closure type of thing.
Right.
I don't remember yesterday's Enterprise. I remember bits and pieces of it, not a whole lot. So I don't know if that storyline ever had a complete arc or...
Well, they completed that with Tasha Yar and her kid as a Romulan in Redemption. Because Tasha was like, well, I die in this timeline. So if I'm not in this timeline, why can't I go back on that ship? And it turns out that she was taken prisoner, I think, by the Romulans, and then had a kid who comes back in, is it the Redemption arc? Where Spock is there trying to broker peace with the Romulans. And what is her character's name?
Don't remember.
Tasha Yar?
As
the Romulan.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, I was going to say Denise Crosby.
It's like that was long time ago. It's probably been 3, maybe 4 years since I've done a rewatch. And with the senior brain, I don't retain.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, senior brain, yes. Which is why I take notes. That way I don't forget. So
I like rewatching the episodes because I forgot how they go.
Oh, come on, phone. Stupid iPhone.
See?
All right, well.
That's an Apple for you.
That's that Apple thing. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for paying attention. Thanks for joining us on the program. We will see you guys next week. Debbie, what do you got coming up as far as your shows?
MCU Monday, I believe they're going to talk about the video game Hogwarts Legacy, and maybe a little bit about the movies, because evidently it ties into the movies or something. I don't know, but I won't.
MCU Mondays ties into Hogwarts.
Well, because there's nothing until May when Guardians comes out, so we got to talk about something else. So
I hate to break it to you, but there's been nothing Marvel MCU since 2018. So,
well, I disagree, but that's all right.
Jeff, what do you got coming up on the Collector Zone?
Well, I'm happy to say my ultimate video game image is complete. Just going to the last few bugs, and I'll have a video out to show off all the cool systems and games I got with it.
It's over like 2,000, is it? 2,000 games?
No, now it's more like
7,000 games?
Well,
what system is that?
there's 2,000 of them is strictly arcade. Lower 2,000.
Okay.
Everything else is the consoles. So
Wow.
I got a nice little vast collection of games.
Now, what was it that you had trouble with? Because I remember there was a post that says, it's not working, I can't figure it out. And then you finally figured out what was wrong with it.
It was the script, how it read the program. So it was not matching up video clips with the marquees and descriptions. So I was having a problem with that. Once I started reformulating and I started going by system, like I did all just the arcade games at once, then it was a shorter way of going through things. And it seemed to work a lot better than trying to do everything all at once. So,
well, we'll look forward to that video. We'll look forward to that video. There's a link in the description below if you want to follow Jeff on the Collector Zone YouTube channel. He's also got a Facebook page. Debbie will put you on a link for GNN, so folks can follow you over there. Do you have other socials that you want to mention?
Who, me?
Your name, Debbie. Your name, Debbie.
I told you, steam your brain. Steam your brain. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Wow.
We've got our gaming team is rolling back up over on Twitch. I think we've got like 3 or 4 people who are streaming games. So yeah.
All right. And I think one of those is John Ambrose, right? He's streaming over on Twitch.
Yeah, John Ambrose, and then you got Retro and Wolf, and you got just Disney, which is Jonathan Heil. And there's somebody else, and I can't remember. I don't remember gaming names because I don't play games.
Yeah, me neither. It took, I streamed after, I think it was it was 2 weeks ago. I streamed after, it was a Friday night episode of The Last of Us. So that was was that 2 weekends ago now?
Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah. So I watched it on the Friday, and I think I started streaming the game on Monday. I was on streaming the game for almost 2 hours.
Wow.
And I get a text message from my son that says, "Hey, Dad, if you ever need any help streaming and this game, I was watching your show, and it should not take you 15 minutes to climb a fence." I mean, it was to figure out how to get over this, and it was only a 4-foot fence that I had to hop over, and I couldn't do it. I died 8
Didn't
times.
hit the X.
So
Oh, that's classic.
he's like, I'll help you out. If we can play together somehow, I'll show you how it's done. And then I couldn't even figure out how to restart the game that I had saved on the PlayStation 2 weeks ago. Every time I started it, it's like, do you want to start fresh? I'm like, no, I have a saved game. So I back all the way out and I restart it. And it says, do you want to start a new game? I'm like, no. And I back up. So about a half hour later, I look back and I see, I'm like, oh my gosh.
How many saved games you got?
I was trying to start Last of Us 2 instead of Last of Us. And I couldn't figure out that it wasn't, give me a cartridge. I put the cartridge in, I press the button, and there's a game that appears. I don't need to go through 16 menus with,
I'll loan you mine. I'll loan you my cartridge, okay?
This is way too many buttons for somebody of my age. Way too many buttons.
No, the Xbox is worse than that. Trust me.
Well, no, because now they have this flat button. Right.
Oh, yeah.
They turn this into a button. There's 2 triggers here. There's 2 triggers here. There's 4 buttons over here. 4 more over here. There's a button in the middle. There's these things that move back and forth, and they're buttons. And I'm like, you know what? I'll stick with Pac-Man.
You want to go back to a simpler time, John?
I can do Pac-Man.
A little simpler for you? There you go.
No, that is not simpler.
This simple?
No.
I remember that one.
Simpler.
How far back you want to go, man? Like,
I want to
stick. Atari?
That's it. I want to stick.
Yeah,
sorry. I want to stick in a button. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Oh boy.
So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've watched this far, I feel sorry for you. We really
have a good time.
Yeah, we appreciate your time. In those 30-second increments that you watch us. And Deb, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Jeff, see you during the week. We'll talk to you. And you out there, don't forget, once again, we really appreciate the time you give us. If there's anything you want to tell us, just drop something in the comment section. I got some stuff here in the chat that I'm not going to put up. I have no idea what that means. I think this guy's texting his wife. I don't know, but
oh God,
we'll see you next week for Star Trek Picard episode 3. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll see you all again
on the next one. Layers.